Okay, so good morning everyone and welcome to Surrey. Hopefully you can all hear me okay, but please do write in the Q&A function if you experience any technical difficulties and our moderators will look into this on the back end. So my name is Fran and I work in sports participation. On the webinar today, we also have Amber, Club Development Officer, and we will be introducing Team Surrey to you, which includes all student physical activity and sport at the University of Surrey. We'll start the session today by explaining what we have on offer and how we will be adapting to restrictions once the national lockdown is reviewed. So Team Surrey is made up of 3 programmes: Club Sport, Play Sport and Surrey Moves Plus. We'll also be touching on the sports part membership pricing. Following the short presentation, we'll be answering your questions, so please feel free to pose these in the Q&A function available throughout. So I'll now pass over to Amber, who will explain the adaptations to activity due to the pandemic.
Thanks, Fran. So what activity is there available for you to get involved in right now? Usually at this time of year, we'd be back in the sports park doing our typical sports sessions, but unfortunately the sports park is closed due to the pandemic. However, some of our sports clubs have linked up with the Students' Union Department and their Get Involved campaign to deliver online sessions for all University of Surrey students. So we've got a circuit session that's being led by our boat club, some fitness sessions from mountaineering and lacrosse, and our ballroom and Latin dance club are taking us through some different dance moves in some online classes as well. If you're not interested in any of the sports on offer, there are also some non-sporting activities for you to get involved with. So we've got a bake-off from the Mountaineering Club, some cocktail making classes and some bingo nights from the Lacrosse Club. So there are quite a few opportunities to still meet new people, although we can't meet up in person just yet. All of these activities are going to be delivered virtually via the Students' Union website at ussu.co.uk, so you can find out more information about those there. We also have some Surrey Moves Plus challenges to keep you active over lockdown. So we have Walk or Run for Mind, our mental health charity, and some couched 5K programmes, but Fran will talk about these a little bit more further on in the presentation. So how are we going to adapt to government and national governing body guidelines? For when we do reopen, we have taken many precautions to make sure that sport is as safe as it possibly can be for students returning. All of our sports clubs have at least 3 nominated COVID-19 officers who are trained up on government, national governing body, health and safety guidelines to make sure that the guidance is followed and equipment is clean and safe for use for when you do come along to those sessions when we reopen. So how do you sign up? So to join any of our sports clubs a bit further down the line, once you've kind of tried out some sessions when we do reopen, you need to first purchase a £40 Team Surrey membership. So this covers your insurance, your facility hire and your coaching costs. So once you've got this membership, you then need to visit the Students' Union website and then purchase your club membership, depending on what club you might want to join. Depending on what club you want to join, if you want to join multiple clubs, the price ranges from about £20 to about £70, depending on which clubs you do want to join. So I'm now going to talk you through our club sport offer. So we've got 43 sports clubs at Team Surrey, so ranging from karting to lacrosse, ultimate frisbee to archery. So there is something for everyone. However, if there is a sport that you are interested in and you don't see it on our list of clubs, you can create your own club or society through the Students' Union, so don't worry about that. We've got clubs that train internally and externally, so the majority of our sports clubs do train at Manor Park at the sports park, but we do have some that train externally. For example, our equestrian club, they train at Silvermere, and our snow sports clubs train at a number of different off-site venues, and we provide transport for all of our sports clubs for these, so there's no additional cost associated with you getting off campus to get to these activities. We've got formalised competition, so typically our sports clubs would take part in weekly bucks competitions against other universities, so weekly matches. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, that's been cancelled this year, but we do have some of our sports clubs, for example, dance, ballroom, cheerleading, that do compete in other national and localised competition as well. Bucks events, so although the Bucks fixtures season has been cancelled, we are hopefully going to have some events a little bit later on in the year, so different individual events that you could get involved in to represent your university as well. So I'm now going to pass you over to Fran to take us through our play sport offering.
Thanks, Amber. So Play Sport is our grassroots social sport programme, which is delivered by student activators and coordinators for students. The programme offers several opportunities to get involved in, including turn up and play sessions, which is less commitment than joining a club. You will need a Team Surrey pay and play account to book onto these sessions for just £3. Or if you get a gold or standard Surrey Sports Park membership, then these sessions are included for free as a member benefit. Amber will be explaining membership pricing in a little bit more detail further into the presentation. These sessions are a great way to meet new people in a social environment. So within the programme, there are also structured social competitions in the form of intramural, or known as IMF leagues, where groups of friends, course mates, housemates, society groups can enter a variety of different team sports. And then the third opportunity includes Learn to Beginner courses, where you can learn a new skill over 4 to 6 weeks of sessions, such as swimming. Both our leagues and courses will be under review when SSP reopens, just due to capacities and ensuring that we're following NGB guidelines, and then we're able to offer these again when it is safe to do so. And both of the leagues and courses will have an upfront cost to them. All of this information will be available on the Team Surrey website. I'll now explain our other participation programme, Surrey Moves Plus. The Surrey Moves Plus is our app for University of Surrey staff and students that tracks your activity, rewards your efforts, encourages a healthy lifestyle, and challenges you to reach your goals. So whether you're walking, running, cycling, or swimming, you can earn points by keeping active through connecting your wearable or on-phone tracker to the app. So the poster on the left-hand side of the screen shows the 5 steps to sign up, ensuring that you are downloading the Moves Plus app from the App or Play Store. Once signed up, join challenges and groups to stay motivated by competing with friends across campus and beyond. It's completely free and a programme for absolutely everyone, and the more you move, the better the reward. When we are able to meet in person again, this programme will also include some fantastic events and activities, such as the Colour Run and the Santa Moves Annual Fun Run. For more information on this programme, you can check out our frequently asked questions, which are on the Team Surrey website, and we look forward to you joining our 2,000 strong community very soon. I'll now pass back over to Amber to explain the Surrey Sports Park membership pricing.
Thanks, Fran. Hopefully you can all see from the matrix on the screen there. So for students at University of Surrey, we have 4 membership types. So gold, silver, standard, and pay and play. You've got 2 different options there. So direct debit, so you can just pay monthly, or you can pay an upfront annual fee. Completely up to you how you want to structure that if you do choose to purchase one of those memberships. As you can see, gold is our kind of all singing, all dancing membership. It gives you access to absolutely everything at the sports park. So your gym classes, the swimming pool, things like that. Silver in the middle, that's more looking at your just kind of gym classes membership. So if that's all you're interested in, that's probably the best membership for yourself. However, you've also got a discounted student price of £3 per session for the swimming pool, and access to those play sport sessions for £3 as well. Standard is purely just our sport membership. So if you want to go and book a basketball court or book a tennis court with your friends, you can do that. So, and also gives you free access to the play sport sessions that Fran was talking about earlier within that membership. Pay and play is essentially a free membership that you sign up for, but you still have to pay those £3 per swimming and play sport sessions. So completely up to you. It's basically essentially up to you what you want to do with your membership. You can tailor it to suit what your needs are. And also down the bottom there, we've got our £40 Team Surrey membership, which I mentioned earlier, that you will need if you want to join any of our sports clubs, which again, just a reminder that covers your facility, coaching costs, and the facility hire and insurance as well. And then following that, you would visit the Students' Union website to then purchase your club membership. Unfortunately, Nathan, our membership experience manager, isn't here to answer any questions today, but if you can follow the link at teamsurrey.co.uk/welcome week, you'll be able to find out all information about our memberships there.
So thank you all for listening to this short overview of Team Surrey, and to the rest of our team for supporting with the back-end technology of the webinar. For more information and updates, please ensure that you're following @Team Surrey on social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And thank you to those who have posed any questions in the Q&A function whilst we've been speaking. Don't forget, you can do so now. So we've got that Q&A button down the bottom of your screen. Any questions that you have, our moderators will now be posing them to us. So over to you guys. Any questions that have come in?
Thanks for that, Fran. Hi, everyone. My name is Katie. I also work in the student sport team at Surrey Sports Park. So yeah, we've got a few questions here. I think, Amber, this is probably one for you. Could you just talk us through a bit more about the actual range of facilities that we have at the sports park?
Yes, of course. So we have our kind of sports arenas. So they're split into three. So we've got A and B that are kind of connected into one, and Arena C where clubs like trampoline and gymnastics train. We've got our squash courts. So we've got 6 squash courts on site. We have 8 tennis courts. We've got multiple grass and artificial grass pitches for hockey and lacrosse. We've got our swimming pool. It's Olympic swimming pool, 50-metre swimming pool. So some fantastic facilities at the sports park, and also some indoor studios, indoor cycling, and our studios where we do Pilates and our different exercise classes as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, we've got another one in now. Can we explain the sport scholarship process?
Yes, so at the moment we have essentially it's just an email address that you can get in touch with us at. So just via the Team Surrey website, if you visit scholarships, there's a link and a form that you can fill out to find out more about those scholarships programs, and we have our scholarships officer who oversees that, so they'll be looking at your request and they'll get in touch with you if they need more information for you on that.
Wonderful, thank you. Right, let's just look through the rest of these questions. Is there a running track at the sports park?
No, unfortunately, we don't have a running track at the sports park, but our athletics club do have a link with Spectrum, a facility offsite in Guildford that does have a running track where they go and do different sprints, and that's where they typically train if you're looking to be a bit more of a high performing athlete.
Wonderful. Okay, here's another one. So if I'm on Stag Hill, how do I get to the sports park, and what's the easiest way to get there?
Yeah, I can take this one. So from Stag Hill, you could firstly walk across. So I would recommend downloading the Surrey Moves app first to get your points for your walk. It's just a 15 to 20-minute walk, and it's all signposted along the way. You could also take out one of the Next bikes. The Next bike scheme, they're all around campus where you can cycle across, or then you could get the bus. It's the #1 bus across from Stag Hill up to the sports park.
Wonderful, thank you. Fran, this will be another one for you. So if someone's new to the university, and you mentioned in the Surrey Moves app about being able to set up challenges with your friends, if you're quite new and you don't know anyone yet, what would you say is the best way to use the app to actually get to meet people if you haven't got a ready-made friendship group to set up for yourself?
Yeah, I would suggest using the app to join our public groups that we have available. So if there was a particular activity that you were interested in, running, walking, cycling, swimming, then there are those public groups which you can get involved in challenges within them. Which is more specific to that activity type you're interested in. You can then see other people who have those interests, challenge against them, motivate yourself, and then hopefully create that sense of community through people in those groups.
Wonderful, thank you. And then moving on to play sport, do all clubs have a play sport offering, or is it a select few?
Yeah, the list of the play sport sessions can also all be found on the Team Surrey website under social. So it's not all of the clubs specifically. It tends to be the team sport activities where effectively you can turn up and play and get involved, and maybe come one week and then not for a couple, or just come with a group of friends or come on your own. So we do have around 13 to 15 different sports which are involved in the play sport program.
Wonderful. And in terms of the IMS leagues, a question here, what sort of level do you need to be at to join an IMS league? Is it competitive the same way that Bucks might be, or even though it's social, is there still an element of needing to trial for kind of an IMS program?
No, absolutely no element of needing to trial, not as competitive of Bucks at all. So it's the opportunity where you've got that kind of, you still get a little bit of an element of competition, but more of a social competition. So joining with, groups of friends, housemates, course mates, societies, where you just want to have that, your weekly fix of that sport to compete against other friends into university. So that's the pure element is into competition.
Wonderful, thank you. And actually another Surrey Moves question. You mentioned the colour run. That sounds great. Where does that normally take place?
Yeah, so the colour run normally takes place on our Manor Park campus, which is at Surrey Sports Park, around the fields and the accommodation at Manor Park. We would normally run this as a welcome week activity in September, October time. Due to the pandemic and we'll see what the situation is with government guidelines and if maybe this is an event we could run in the summer. But yeah, we're all ready to go to promote when we're able to do so.
Perfect, thank you. So another question here, this one's for you, Amber, about hockey. So someone has asked if they purchase a sports membership, I'm assuming we mean SSP gym membership, obviously, and play for the club membership, will they be able to play hockey?
So how it works at the sports park is your gym membership isn't really anything to do with kind of sports club side of it. So if you're interested in joining the gym, that kind of sits separately from your sports club. So rather than joining the gym, for that you pay that £40 Team Surrey membership that I'd mentioned earlier in the presentation. So that essentially covers your access to the facility and the coaching that you receive as part of the club. So then to actually join one of the sports clubs, you have that, and then you would pay the hockey fee. So it's the combination of having the Team Surrey membership and the club membership that then you can get coaching and basically compete and train with the club.
Perfect. And what you mentioned that the prices for the club memberships themselves will vary. What are you paying for when you pay your club membership as well?
So it just depends on what the club different events that they do. So for example, if you are fencing and you compete in Bucks Nationals, they will normally ask for a contribution towards accommodation for staying away. So that competition normally takes place up in Sheffield, so it'll be a contribution towards that. It might be some club merchandise, so some t-shirts with the club name on it, or kind of access to socials, different things like that. So that's what your club membership pays for. It's kind of getting access to the kind of social and kind of group elements of the club, as opposed to actually accessing the facility.
Excellent. And if people were interested in joining more than one club, sort of what's the best way to get in contact with clubs at the moment, with the sports park being closed?
At the moment, social media is a great way to get in touch with our sports clubs at the moment. Basically, either our University of Surrey or Team Surrey before their name. At the moment, it's just kind of how we're all keeping in contact in the climate that we are in. But the clubs do have their own email address as well, just ussu.u and then whichever club name at ac.uk. So probably social media in the first instance. A lot of our clubs are very active on there at the moment.
Perfect. And another club sport question. So when club sport returns to face-to-face activity and coaching, does all of the activity take part at the sports park, or are there some sessions on Stag Hill as well?
So not everything takes part at the sports park. So our athletics club, for example, they organise different run days. So their Wednesday run day takes place on the Stag Hill campus. So everybody meets at AP Plaza, kind of in the centre of Stag Hill campus, and they'll go off, run around on that campus. We did used to have American football that would sometimes run jag tag sessions, kind of touch American football sessions on there as well. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, those sort of activities haven't been able to be approved. But hopefully that's something that later on in the year we'll have those up and running again.
Perfect. And just sticking with you, Amber, actually, in terms of the sort of the levels available within a club, can someone join as a complete beginner?
Yes, absolutely. So that's one of the great things about all the sports clubs that we do have. It's kind of from beginner all the way up to competitive. So you don't need to worry if you haven't actually tried a sport before. A lot of our students come and haven't tried a sport before, and then they go on to, being involved in club committees and actually competing for the university if that's what they want to do. But it's just a great social opportunity to meet different people as well.
Perfect. Actually, you mentioned club committees then. Can you explain sort of how the clubs are run and sort of what the clubs do versus what the sports park staff are involved in?
Yes, absolutely. So the club are ultimately responsible for running the club. So you've got 3 club signatories: your club president, secretary, and the treasurer. So they basically take care of the club, whether that's organising your social, any fundraising activity, kind of communicating with you about the opportunities that might be in there. They also work really closely with the student union, work with their finance and in transport for anything like for activities as well.
Excellent. in terms of the transport side of things, should students need their own cars to get to different competitions, or is that covered?
No, that's covered. So we have buses and cars on site that are organised by the Students' Union. So normally what would happen is a member of the sports club would have a bus licence, and they take people to do their different activities off site, do them in places or.
Excellent. There might just be some issues with your sound at the moment, Amber.
Yeah.
It's a little bit echoey. So what I'll do is I'll just ask some more questions to Fran. So for the play sport side of things, Fran, you mentioned the Learn To costs. 2 questions. Typically, how much do those courses cost? And 2, is there a waiting list?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I've just got a bit of an echo. Maybe see if you're able to mute if we reply. I don't know if that will help. Hopefully you can hear me. In terms of a course such as Learn to Swim, for example, that is a 5-week course, and we offer 5 weeks of sessions at £25, so that equals £5 for a one-to-one session, for example. They will really depend on what the activity is. So Learn to Horse Ride, for example, you do have an external venue involved, obviously the use of the equipment and the transport to get there, but it's really subsidised and is very good value. So it's actually only £10 a lesson. So for 6 weeks, it's £60 to learn to horse ride. So yeah, it obviously does depend on the situation, the course and the sport itself, but they all range between, £20 to £60.
Wonderful, thank you. Just a question here about volunteering. Are there opportunities within the club to do, other types of charitable work or other volunteering work, as well as kind of your normal club activities? Amber.
Oh, I think Amber might be on mute, so I'll pick that one up. Sorry. So yeah, there are opportunities to volunteer in terms of if maybe all of the play sport sessions are run by student volunteers as activators and coordinators. So that's a volunteer role. Obviously, running the clubs themselves are run by student volunteers. So the committee roles are all for volunteers, but also getting involved in aspects like charity work, as you mentioned, Katie. That might be doing a fun run or doing something virtually, or other opportunities is to get involved in charity work and raise money, or to help the better of the club, for sure.
Perfect, thank you. And on the Surrey Moves programme, so you mentioned about earning points for things like kind of walking to campus and other activities. What can you then use your points for?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can earn points by doing one of the 4 activity types of stepping, so walking, running, cycling or swimming. And then you can use your points to redeem different prizes, effectively different rewards, whether those are physical rewards such as maybe a hot drink, a water bottle or pin badge, or even using them to get more physically active by maybe trying a new gym class or a swim fit course at the sports park, which you might not have used before. Effectively, you get free access to that by using your points. Obviously, at the moment, we are during lockdown, so those physical activity rewards are just on hold at the moment. So we do have a lot more discount codes. So discounts for online products, so getting discounts off websites, or then also being able to donate your points to charity. And then we do have a couple of vouchers available. So there's loads of different rewards available, and you can get more points by getting involved in the challenges and really motivating yourself to try and keep active during lockdown, rack those points up and then be rewarded.
Excellent. And in terms of actually the app itself, what tracker do you need? Can you just track on your phone, or do you have to have more expensive tech like a Garmin watch or something similar to that?
Yeah, so you can absolutely just track on your phone using the inbuilt tracking apps, whether that's Apple Health on an iPhone or on Android, whether that's Google Fit. The And ones that we do cater for, which is the wearables, are Fitbit, Apple Watch, and Withings. They're also available, and then Strava. So Strava obviously only tracks your runs, cycles, for example, but then you could link Strava directly to Google Health, to Google Fit or Apple Health to get your step points as well as your run and cycle points. So yeah, just to reiterate, the main trackers are Apple, Google, Fitbit, Withings, and Strava, sorry. And yeah, all of the details of how to connect those trackers and what they do and don't offer, because obviously with some of the trackers, swimming isn't available if you don't have a waterproof wearable, are all found on Team Surrey website. Under Surrey Moves Plus, we have a full page of FAQs.
Wonderful. Right. So a couple of questions for Amber. So I think our moderator is going to take you off mute for your answer. So first question is, are there lots of different teams per club? Like, is it quite easy to still have a competitive level of activity, even if you're not, first team level player?
It completely depends on what club it is, but for example, our men's football team have 5 different teams that compete in Bucks, but they also have compete in a local Saturday league as well that they have 4 teams for. So they've got quite a good competitive offering. If it's netball, you're want to get involved with, they've got 4 different teams that compete in Bucks and then another 2 that compete outside of that. Pretty much all of our team sports have multiple teams. There's not just one team involved in that. So there's definitely plenty of competitive opportunity for you to get involved with, if whether that's first team or your 5th team, there's still something there for you.
Wonderful. And what sort of times does club training take place? So does it take place whilst the sports park is open to the public as well? Like, are you sharing space?
So all of our sports club sessions tend to take place in the evening through the weekdays. So usually about 5:30 onwards into 10:30 is when our sports clubs train. There's a few exemptions to that. Some of them do train earlier on in the afternoon, depending on what time suit around timetables. Some of our sports clubs do train at the weekend. So we've got a gymnastics club, for example, training a Saturday in Arena C, and a few clubs like that. But everything, you're not sharing any space with the members of the public. They're purely set aside for club sport sessions for students.
Perfect, thank you. And in terms of just sort of the wider physical and mental health at the moment, obviously with clubs being offline or not, well, online, but not doing face-to-face activity, what are clubs doing to try and sort of safeguard the well-being of their members? What kind of other services are there that are available to students?
That's a great question, especially during, as you mentioned, during the climate that we are in at the moment. So one thing, all of our sports clubs do have a wellbeing champion. So depending on the size of them, they've actually got 4. So you can go to any one of them and chat through any issues you might be having, even if it's just for a chat. We're all quite self-isolated a little bit at the moment. So even if it's just a chat to somebody, you've got wellbeing champions there to chat with them. But we've also got a really great support system with the Students' Union department as well. They've got their support side of that there, and also the wellbeing services at the university. They've got some great referrals to that as well. So if you do require any support at all when you are at the university, there's plenty of support there for you.
Fabulous, thank you. And obviously, like, people in their first year maybe have a bit more time to sort of try out lots of new sports and take part in different things. How easy is it for students to take part in club sport when they're in maybe their 2nd or 3rd year, or even on a placement year?
It absolutely depends on you as an individual. We have quite a lot of students that definitely continue their sport through to their final years and on placement. It's quite a good distraction, just a good way to keep yourself fit as well and take a break from exams. We do have some students who are part of multiple clubs. I think one time we've had someone that's been a member of 8 of them at one time. So completely depends on you as an individual, what you think you've got time for around your timetable and your social life, what you want to do. But there's definitely time and scope for you to have multiple sports sessions through the week and be part of those clubs if you want to.
Excellent. Now, this isn't a question that's come in, this is just me thinking aloud. So in terms of obviously the other competitions we do, wondering, Amber, if you could explain a bit about, firstly, also about varsity and also about our grad sport competitions that we do.
Yes, so we have varsity, which typically normally happens around March time. Unfortunately, that again won't be running this year, but we compete against Royal Holloway. So it alternates year by year. We're either competing over there or we're at the sports park. So it's basically just a full day of competition that we compete against them in a range of different sports to basically see who is the best. And grad sport is our kind of alumni offering. So we kind of reconnect with people who have graduated from the university, and current students compete against them for the Grad Sport Cup. So this would have been our 7th year running it this year. So hopefully we can get some sort of activity and event running this year. We will see what happens. But that's essentially what grad sport is. It's just a chance for you to reconnect with people who've left the university, and a good way to fundraise for the Forever Surrey Fund, which is essentially an alumni pot of money that goes straight back into sports clubs and societies. So it's a really great thing for clubs to get involved with.
Fabulous, thank you. And then in terms of the Team Surrey kit, so what the question is, what kit do they play in? Do you get kit as part of your membership, or is that something you have to buy, or is there places that you can buy that kit from?
So you can buy individual pieces of kit from Player Layer, who are our kit sponsor. The club do provide, they've got their own kits, so we do play in Player Layer for all of our matches and competitions preferably. You don't need to pay for any additional costs. Sometimes men's football, for example, will ask you to pay for maybe your shorts and socks. Kind of same with hockey and netball, they might ask you to get your undershorts as part of their own club website that they've bought through Player Layer. But for the most part, all your kind of playing kit for competition is provided for you. You don't need to pay for that.
Wonderful, thanks. So that is all of our questions that have come in. Oh, actually, one more. Amber, this is probably a question for you, actually. Are there opportunities to learn about kind of coaching and refereeing for your club?
Yes, absolutely. So at the moment, we don't actually employ any student coaches, but we do have the opportunity to put you through coaching and refereeing qualifications to kind of help you develop in that sense. If that's something that you're looking to do, become a referee or a coach, we will put you through the qualifications to do that. It's just that unfortunately, we won't pay you for that, but there's definitely some great chance to get experience in refereeing matches, whether that's football or even through IMS, through intramural leagues as well. So there's definitely opportunity for you to do that.
Wonderful. Right. Yeah. So that was the last of our questions. I don't know if anyone wants to send anything else in, or Amber and Fran, if you have anything that you wanted to add in terms of things to go over.
No, it's just reiterating thanks for listening. Obviously, we've shared the contact details for the particular programs on the presentation. This presentation has also been recorded, and it will be uploaded to the Team Surrey website to look back over and refer to, or share to anybody that may have missed it today. And then just a reminder to make sure you're following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, for regular updates around Team Surrey, especially following the national lockdown restrictions and when we are able to get back to physical activity in person. So yeah, please make sure you're keeping an eye on that communication, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in person very soon. Thank you all very much.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.